Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I don't know when I'll be posting this, so we'll see. I have my paper written, I have my thoughts gathered, and I'm ready to share my opinions on makeup. Normally when I recorded YouTube videos in high school, I would wear makeup for all of them because I felt like a chud without them. And I still do, but I feel like it is very hypocritical for me to be talking about how negative makeup is and to be wearing a full face. That's just counterintuitive and very stupid. So, my face is naked. I'm so sorry. Uh, no, I'm not. Okay. The first thing I want to say and feel like is important to say when approaching this topic is that this is not a personal attack on any women, anywhere, and more importantly, it's not an attack on any women at all. This is more of an attack on companies, mostly who are manufacturing these issues, and also men who are contributing to them. And I have to say, it's not all men. Shout out Luis and Kyle. You would never, probably. I'd hope not. I'm watching you guys. It's obviously not all men. If I don't say that, there are going to be some angry incels in my comments. So, this is actually a conversation I've had with my roommate and other women in my life. However, it was a week ago, maybe a few days ago, that I came across a TikTok of a woman speaking about how makeup is inherently patriarchal. And I was scrolling through the comments, and many of them were like really, really shocked by this. And I was surprised at their surprise. But I quickly realized that it's not something that's actually talked about very often. And not many people have friends who want to sit down and say, hey, let's have a conversation about makeup and patriarchy. I have those friends, not everyone does. That inspired me to actually do some research, make this video, and even make this channel. So here I am, 2 weeks after school ended, and I am diving right back into research. As always, links to resources will be in the description, and I will be citing them throughout the video. My claim? Makeup is a self-objectifying practice, therefore it is not feminist, and it benefits the patriarchy more than it benefits you. Let's talk about it. Many sources were used for this video, however my main source was written by Elisa Puvia at the University of Padua in Italy. It was written in 2011, and because it is my main source, it will be the first link in the description. So, when reading through her research and her article, the first thing she goes over is self objectification and objectification theory. Now, because I want to get the definition correct, I will be reading a majority of this piece of the video because I don't want to spread misinformation, and I did write a paper for a reason. Objectification theory comes from the works of Fredrickson and Roberts in 1997. The theory suggests that many women are sexualized and treated as an object that derives its value from its usefulness to others. The woman's body or parts of her body are separated from her identity, and she is viewed as a physical object of male desire. If that was too wordy or too fast, essentially, it's the theory that women are treated as objects within society. Your only source of value comes from your body. There are two ways that this theory can present itself, one being the objectification from others, and the second being the internalization of these experiences, and eventually the objectification of oneself. Obviously, self objectification is not intentional. Like I said, it's the internalization of these experiences and feelings, often like internalized homophobia. It's obviously not pleasant and not intentional, but subconsciously, there are still issues that we have been taught. Some examples of this being when a man might look up and down, examining your body before his eyes ever reach your face. Within advertising, the faceless body, when it's maybe a model or something and she doesn't have a face. It's just her body and her unrealistic proportions. Creating and casting a conventionally attractive character and giving them no real storyline. They don't have depth. They don't have life experience. They are hot. Unwanted comments from others regarding your body. "Oh, you're skinny, you should gain weight. You're overweight, you should eat less." These are all examples of objectification theory. One of Puvia's sources comes from a person named Archer and their colleagues. They found a gender bias in which men are mainly represented by their faces, while women are mainly represented by their bodies. According to Puvia, both men and women are insecure about their bodies. However, the effects of these insecurities are more harmful to women than they are to men. The constant experiences regarding objectification, whether that be by the self or others, can lead to body surveillance. According to Meaden's Health, body surveillance is the persistent observation and evaluation of one's bodies against societal standards. In short, it's your insecurities about your own body. And current as well as past societal beauty standards are totally unrealistic. Along with that, the societal standard for what is beautiful, at least for a body, is constantly changing. I mean, look at 10 years ago. Guys wanted a girl who was unrealistically skinny. 10 years later, they want a girl who's unrealistically curvy. No one wants to keep up with that, and yet they think we exist to please them. Exactly what this theory is talking about. Okay, so what's my point? You're now probably asking, what does this have to do with makeup? Sexual objectification is prevalent and real, but you just told me that my body was being objectified and my face was being ignored. So what's the correlation? Exactly why I chose this study. We're covering multiple things in one video. Puvia hypothesized that makeup actually acted in quite a similar way. She hypothesized that makeup is a form of self objectification and therefore is negatively impacting women's mental health and even, get this, their cognitive function. When I started researching for this video, I was looking for studies and articles regarding this topic, and I actually struggled to find credible sources. I found it odd, but I was really relieved to see the author of this study actually agreed with me. There aren't enough studies regarding makeup and the effect it has on women. In fact, the studies that were done focused on the perception that others had when they saw women wearing makeup. The studies surrounding makeup that did exist ask totally different questions than what I'm asking right now. Puvia talks about some of these studies, most of them being, here's a woman, she's wearing makeup. What do you think about her? Oftentimes, makeup was associated with mean, successful, whereas someone not wearing makeup was associated with being kind, maybe less successful. I didn't read too much into that part of the article because it's irrelevant to my question, but it's interesting to think about. If you're interested more in those studies, Puvia does talk about them in depth, and it is the first link in the description. I think I've been using the wrong term this whole video. I don't know if I said article. This is an academic journal because Puvia conducts her own study. Here we are to talk about the results of this study. Puvia found that there was a link between makeup and self-objectification, so it confirmed my theory and hers. Puvia found that when women wore makeup in a setting that they were aware would be judging their competence, they actually viewed themselves as less competent. An example of this being a job interview, someone is going to be literally judging your competence for the field you're applying for. And she found that when women wore makeup to job interviews, they felt less competent, which I was shocked by. She found the obvious. Makeup caused overall esteem issues regarding one's appearance. So, me And you have the same question here. Why are we wearing makeup then? Why do we still do it? Why was it ever a thing? I actually researched the history of makeup for this part of the video. All I could find was women just started doing stuff. I didn't find any like real reason or intentions behind their actions. They just started making paints to paint their face. It was associated with prostitutes early on, but I couldn't find any real reasons for why they started doing it. So if anyone knows. So like I said, as for why we did it then, I don't know. As for why we do it now, there are some obvious reasons. Of course, the main one being consumerism, overconsumption. The beauty industry wants you to hate yourself. I hate to say it, they're not your friends. They hate you, they love your money. They are constantly creating and manufacturing insecurities so they can sell you solutions. You see it all over TikTok. About a year ago, people were trying to get rid of their double chins by wearing these weird like wraps around their head. And you'd get in TikTok shop and everyone's selling it. The rollers for your face, a lot of these are pseudosciences. There's not a lot of research for most of these things. Maybe the microneedling, maybe, but overall, these are ridiculous insecurities to have. You're a human. You are a giant bag of flesh. You are not going to look perfect all of the time. You do not need to look perfect all of the time. I don't know who told you that, women. I don't know who lied to you. You are beautiful without makeup. I'm not even going to say with or without. You don't need it. I don't care who you are, what you look like. I don't care. You don't need it. Went off on a little rant there. But overconsumption. The beauty industry constantly creating insecurities, selling you solutions. I got curious. This was not something I planned on talking about, but I wanted to know who is in charge of the beauty industry. It's men. It's all men. It's all men. The global cosmetic industry contacted the top 100 cosmetic companies operating in Europe. Less than 50% responded. I wonder why. They found that those that responded, 65% of executive committee was male, 51% had no ethically diverse committee, and 48% had no ethnic diversity on their board of directors. While we're on the topic, I'd just like to say feminism is an everything issue. It is not just about bettering ourselves, it is about tearing down the patriarchy, which hurts people of color, it hurts men, it hurts gay people, it hurts everyone. I know I'm missing people. Everyone is negatively affected by the patriarchy. And the goal of feminism is to dismantle this structure. So, yeah, obviously, the makeup industry is also racist. That's surprising to no one. We've seen the range of skin tones they have, and they're not great. There's also the argument of self expression when it comes to makeup. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Puvia talks about this too in her article, her journal. Um, she said something about if you're expressing yourself, why are you using the same canvas every day? Great point. It actually used to be my argument was, well, it's self-expression. Okay, how? Self-expression in regards to makeup might have had a semblance of truth in 2016, but they're not even trying to make that argument believable anymore. The makeup that I often see when talking to women who say it's self expression is natural makeup. And I just don't personally see how that is a form of self expression at all. I do think makeup can be used in a self expressive way. However, I don't think the trend is to use makeup in a self expressive way. For example, I think goth makeup is very feminist and very empowering because this is taking makeup products and saying, screw you, I'm going to use this how I want to. The final obvious reason would be your self esteem, and I think this is probably the reason most women are going to go with. It's it's a fair it's a fair argument. The problem with it being makeup actually contributes to a low self-esteem. Puvia's research actually backs this. When researching why we wear makeup, I actually had my own hypothesis. I can't prove this. This is just a theory, and I have no research to back it. However, I got really intrigued, and I do intend on doing a research project on this topic at my university next year. So no one steal it. It's my hypothesis. I'm saying it now. Makeup is evolving with male desire. She found a link between makeup and objectification theory, and if objectification theory is stemming from men, I don't see why male desire can't be linked to makeup trends, especially when men are the people controlling the industry. And obviously, I need to dig deeper on it. But what I'm seeing is when, let's say, 2016, when feminism was really on the rise, 2010 to 2016, let's say that. When feminism was on the rise, makeup was more expressive. Now that we're seeing post feminism within the trends, we're kind of seeing more trad wife makeup. Post feminism, for those who aren't aware, is the idea that going back to a woman's traditional values is feminist. So, being a trad wife. My only problem with this theory is the origin of makeup. I can't I can't find a definitive answer. If anyone wants to share, please leave me links in the comments. Send me your own research papers. I'll read them. I'm just not too sold on the fact that women started wearing makeup for themselves. I'm not buying it. So, although I have no way of proving it, I will one day, don't you worry. You wait till next semester. That's the answer I'm going with. It seems to me that makeup is reflecting male desire. Whether or not that's a stupid claim to make is up to you. But I do think it's a different perspective, and I would love to see other people talking about it. I don't think it's that ridiculous of a claim to make. The woman in the TikTok video I watched kind of suggested the same thing. However, I think it's important to have research to back any claims that anyone is making because the internet loves to take ideas and run with them without any evidence, and personally, that drives me crazy. Like I said in the beginning of the video, not an attack on any woman out there. I personally wear makeup probably 3 or 4 times a week. I won't even lie. I wear it to work every day. I wear it when I go out. I wore it almost every day to school this past year. However, I do think this is a thing I want to stop doing because it has had a negative effect on my own mental health and my own self esteem. I think if you were to tell me in high school, Natalie, you're just wearing makeup every day because you're appealing to the male gaze and it makes you feel better about yourself when people like you, I would have said, don't talk to me, you're a jerk, get out of my face. If you were to tell me that now, I would say I 100% agree. We should stop wearing makeup. I think it is an ongoing conversation that needs to be had. I would love to see more research surrounding it, and I am excited to hopefully perform my own research next year. I would love to see women everywhere start deconstructing their own beliefs regarding makeup and beauty. I think that would be a very empowering thing to see. I would love to see men deconstruct their own beliefs regarding beauty and makeup and even the body. What's realistic for a woman? What's not? Are my expectations too high? Probably. And I do think many men are going to make the argument that they prefer a natural woman. They prefer a woman with no makeup. Have you seen birthday makeup? It's so ugly. Well, my argument being, no, you don't. The makeup trends right now are reflecting your desires. They are. When you see a woman on social media not wearing makeup, I guarantee you she's wearing makeup. Because I see it all the time. It'll be a picture of a woman and she's clearly wearing makeup. Nothing wrong with that. The comments, however, are all natural woman. What a beauty. Dude, she has mascara on. You can literally see it. Maybe men are just stupid. I don't know. But really, I want you to deconstruct your beliefs about beauty. This is Juicist. Thank you for watching this video if you did. If you thought it was stupid, I'm sorry. It's my first one. They'll get better. If you thought it was educational, thanks. I tried. And see you guys later. Have to give a shout out to my mom for the microphone. She bought it for my birthday. I gave her a shout out in the last video, but seriously, I couldn't do this without the microphone, Mom.